Hey peeps, Claudia King here, founder of Automio, creator of Scale Up, and award-winning legal innovator. In this video, I'm going to share with you my 5 steps for how to prioritize your time so that you can focus on your goals and actually achieve them. Now, please stick around till the end. I'm going to share with you how you can get your hands on our free guide called The Time Creator for Law Firm Owners. It's all about how to free up one whole day a week, every week, to work on growing your law firm. This has been one of the keys to my success, and I've done all the legwork to figure out how to do this. So please stay till the end so that you can get a copy. All right, let's get into it. So peeps, here is something I have noticed. Law firm owners often start off the year really energized and enthused because they've set some really ambitious, inspiring, motivating goals for themselves and for their law firm and for their life for the year and beyond. And by about end of February, March, those goals have already fallen by the wayside, and the law firm owners have got caught up in doing all the things, all the busy work in their law firm, and have just sort of given up on working towards their goals. Now, something that people often say to me is, you must be so busy, you do all these things, you must be so busy, how do you fit it all in? And the truth is that I'm actually not that busy. I do get through a lot of work, but I'm very strategic about how I plan my time and how I prioritize the things that I need to do. And as a result, it means that I get more done in less time, and I'm able to achieve my goals as a result. So I really wanted to share with you my 5 tips for how to prioritize your time so that you can actually hit the goals that you are setting for your law firm as a law firm owner. So number 1 is to review your goals. So the goals that you've set for yourself at the start of the year, the reason why you're super amped about them, pumped about them, is because you've just created them, right? You've just written them down, so they're super fresh in your mind and you're feeling super jazzed about them. So you need to create that sort of experience for yourself day in and day out. So every day I review my goals. I review my mission, my vision, and my core values for my company. I look at my 3-year goals, and I look at my 1-year goals, and then I look at my quarterly goals that have been broken down into the quarter to work towards hitting our 1-year goals. So I review that every day. Now, all our goals and mission, vision, all that stuff is written in a very succinct way. So all of this stuff fits into a 1-pager so I can quickly read it, and I read it every day. Now, often when I talk to my coaching clients, the law firm owners who are part of our coaching program Scale Up, they say to me, well, isn't reviewing your goals on a daily basis boring? And my response, I'm always surprised to hear that, because, my goals for my business and my life are, some of the most motivating things for me out there. So for me to remind myself of what they are on a daily basis, I actually really love it. And for those of you who may not find it as energizing as I do, I would say to you this: sometimes the inputs that we have to put in to achieve a certain output or a result are not glamorous or fabulous or super fun. Sometimes they can be a bit bland. Okay, so this is just one of those things. And if you think about how excited you were at the start of the year about your goals, don't you want to recreate that for yourself? I think that's such an important thing to be able to do for yourself as an entrepreneur and as a business owner. So that's number 1, review your goals and try and do it daily. You will try it for a couple of weeks. I think you'll find that you really do start to enjoy it. Number 2 is to categorize tasks. So most law firm owners that I talk to, and also the ones that I work with, when I first start working with them, they have these great big to-do lists, often in a spreadsheet or in something like Trello. And they really struggle to prioritize those lists. And often the lists are very long. And I can totally commiserate with that, because I used to have a big long to-do list in a spreadsheet myself. I called it the spreadsheet of doom. I used to sweat with anxiety before I would open it every day. But one thing that I learned to do in there to help me kind of reduce my anxiety and actually begin to, prioritize my time really strategically was to categorize those tasks. And there's so many articles, blog posts, videos out there about how to categorize tasks, how to prioritize tasks. And any one of them could work for you, but I really struggled to find one that worked for me. And the one that jumps out, for example, is the one where you put your tasks into 4 quadrants. And on one side, it's important, not important, and then up the top, it's urgent, not urgent, and you're supposed to categorize your tasks into one of those 4 quadrants. And then I think the idea is that you're supposed to do the important and urgent things first. That's too complicated for me. I was I need something way more simple than this. So I've got a really simple way to categorize your tasks in terms of their priority. So I categorize tasks as either A or B. Now, a task that is an A is a task that is helping you move forward to achieving one of the goals that you have set for your law firm. Okay, so it'll be pretty clear. I find it pretty clear when I'm looking at a task, is it sort of directly linked to moving forward to achieving one of your goals. And if it's not, then it is a B. And then the idea is that you prioritize the A task over the B task. Now, this is where it can get a bit sticky, and this is where law firm owners often challenge me on this approach. Most of your client work is going to be a B task, because client work often will not directly lead you to achieving your goals. Some of it may, but generally it won't. So it is actually a B task. Now, how can you categorize, or how can you prioritize an A task that is perhaps something to do with picking some technology or doing some sort of a marketing activity that's going to help you achieve one of your goals? How can you prioritize that over something urgent for one of your clients that needs to be done over here that might be sort of a B task? So, to start with, that is a real challenge. And the idea is that this is more of a journey. This is more of a transition. And as you start categorizing things into A's and B's, and you will see that the B's keep coming up, and the B's always try and overtake the A's. That's just what the B's do. But what's really important is that you are noticing that, and you're starting to see where that is interfering with you achieving your goals. So you can start to think strategically about how you can spend more time on the A task and less time on the B task. So when it comes to the legal work that is a B task, you need to start looking at how you can hire lawyers, paralegals, legal execs to come in and do that work for you. A great example of that is Carolee Fontanelli. She is a family lawyer in the Gold Coast. She has a law firm called Collective Family Law Group. So they're based in Gold Coast and Brisbane. And Carolee has built an amazing business. She's scaled her law firm to well over $2 million per year, and she does none of the legal work. So she's solely focused on the goals, on building the team, building the culture, overseeing the marketing, and overseeing sort of the client processes and things like that. So she is totally focused on the A tasks, and over time she has delegated all of the B tasks so that she can just focus on the A tasks. And she couldn't do that straight away. She had to work towards that over a number of years. I was the same in my law firm. So from the time that I decided that I wanted to, start focusing on A tasks only, it probably took me about 3 years to transition from doing things like legal work, from doing B tasks a lot of the time, to doing pretty much just A tasks. So it is definitely possible, and it is really what you need to do if you are serious about growing, about scaling your law firm and freeing up your time to do the things that you want to do and to stop practicing in perhaps the chaotic way that you do now, you do need to find a way to get the B tasks off your plate and prioritize the A tasks. You just have to, which will mean hiring people. So that is why step 2 is categorize your tasks into A and B. So number 3 is set boundaries. Okay, so this is all about setting boundaries around your time so that you can focus on the stuff that you have prioritized. So setting boundaries is where you are looking at the areas of your life where you're perhaps not as productive as you want to be, and figuring out how you can put some rules in place either for yourself or with other people so that you can ensure that you are prioritizing the work that needs to be done to help move the needle towards achieving your goals. So an example is if you've prioritized on a particular day to actually work on automating a new document or automating a new document for your practice, then that is, that sort of work needs to be done. But perhaps you're getting distracted by what's going on social media. So you really need to start setting a boundary with yourself around that, whether you're leaving your phone in another room while you're working or whether you're turning off notifications, those sorts of things. Team members can also be a challenging one as well. They often want your attention all the time, so you need to set really clear boundaries with them around when you're available and when you're not. So like with my team, I have my team day on a Monday. That's when I do all my team meetings and we catch up. And I'm really just not available any of the other days to catch up with them. And they will sometimes try and book time with me on the other days, but I'm not interested in catching up with them about those things on those days. I have Monday, which is the day that we can talk about all the things. I have it set aside. It's scheduled in their calendar. It's scheduled in my calendar. We have an agenda. We're going to cover the thing. So they will need to wait until then to talk about that with me. And, what does that mean? And I know that gives a lot of lawyers anxiety, but, your time is so important and you need to guard it. So, setting boundaries with people like that is super important. That leads on to number 4, which is saying no. So once you've set the boundaries, often that can be the easy part, but saying no and sticking to those boundaries can be really quite difficult. And the thing is, the reality is that people will try and cross the boundaries all the time. They won't do it knowingly, but they will do it. Now, that does not mean that you should give up on those boundaries. It just means you need to get better at enforcing them. And the more you enforce them, the more people will respect them. So it will take a bit of time, but people will get there. But you also need to re-examine your boundaries fairly regularly, because often you will set a boundary and you will, sort of enforce it for a while, and then bit by bit people will start to cross those boundaries again, and maybe like 6 months later you'll suddenly be like, hang on, you guys are not supposed to be doing that. So you need to re-examine your boundaries and start to reinforce them again. So it's just this constant sort of dance, and that's just life, that's just reality. So just because you've set a boundary and people are not respecting it does not mean you should give up on it. It just means that you need to say no. Learn to say no more often, and that boundary will become clearer for people and for yourself. So that's number 4, learn to say no. So number 5 is prioritize self-care. A few months ago, I decided to do the 75 Hard program. Now, 75 Hard is called a mental toughness challenge, but it has a really strong fitness component. And the 75 Hard program means that there are certain tasks that you have to do every day for 75 days, and you can't miss a day or else you have to start again. So a couple of examples of some of the tasks. One is that you have to read 10 pages of a business book every day. And another example is that you have to do 2 45-minute workouts, and one of those workouts has to be outside. Now, I really wanted to do this program because it looked really challenging, and I like doing really hard things, and I love doing things where I feel like I might get a significant mindset shift. So I decided to commit to doing it, but I knew that if I was going to get these workouts in, I would have to prioritize them over work, because, often exercise is the first thing to fall off my calendar when work is busy. So I knew that I wouldn't be able to do that. Okay, and I was quite worried about the impact that prioritizing workouts would have on the business. At the time, my business was, growing quickly, and my team was working really well together, and we had a lot of momentum, and I didn't want to slow that down by not being available or by having to cancel meetings. And I did have to cancel some meetings. I had to turn some meetings into walking meetings, which was quite good. And I also had to put some things off that I was planning to do or that I had scheduled. I had to put them off until the next day or until later to get these workouts in. And I was quite worried about what impact this would have. So anyway, the result was that it actually had a really positive impact. By prioritizing my self-care, I gave myself a lot more time to think about ideas and decisions that needed to be made and how to deal with different situations, which meant that when I was working, I was more productive than I have ever been. The self-care really brought a lot of calmness and clarity to me. So instead of being quite confuddled in my brain when I would have to make a decision, just through this, letting myself have this time, these 2 workouts every day, I was so much clearer and I could make decisions so much faster, and I could really kind of work through the data and the process that I needed to in a much more sort of efficient, careful, calm way than I usually would. And it really meant that, my interactions and my conversations around goals and things with my team members were a lot more productive, meetings were more efficient, and so really it was a very positive experience, and it really has helped us, I believe, to grow even faster, and the team is working so much better, and I'm just more clear than I ever have been on who we are as a business and where we're heading. So that is why I recommend to you that you prioritize self-care above your work, and I challenge you to do it for a couple of weeks and see how you feel. I think you will be pleasantly surprised. So just to recap on those 5 things that you need to do to prioritize your time so that you can actually achieve the goals that you've set for your law firm. Number 1 is review your goals. Number 2 is categorize tasks. Number 3 is set boundaries. Number 4 is say no. Number 5 is prioritize self-care. Right, I promised you that if you stuck around to the end, I would share with you how you could get your hands on our free guide called The Time Creator for Law Firm Owners, which is all about how you can free up 1 full day a week, every week, to work on growing your law firm. So there is a link in the description down below. Please click on that and get yourself a copy. Now, if you haven't already, I would love for you to like this video and to subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get more videos like this one. And if you have a comment that you would love to share all about how you prioritize your time, I would love to hear it. I will promise I will respond to you. As always, I want to challenge you to continue doing the amazing work you're doing to build the law firm of your dreams. And I will see you in the next video. All right, bye. If there's anything these past months have shown us, it's that the time to make lasting, impactful change in the legal industry is right now. So I want to challenge you to shake things up and create change today. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and share this video with your lawyer friends. See you next week.